Hey guys, welcome back to the other side of the coin. Now there's been some massive news around Kepa Arrizabalaga in recent days. Look, there's always been speculation about him throughout this season because of how poor he has been. But in the last few days, it seems like every news that's coming out in regards to Chelsea is circulating around Kepa. Now, before we get into all the different options that are coming through, the different goalkeepers that we're linked with, I want to touch on exactly what the issue is, exactly how the fans are feeling, and why fans are feeling like that from both sides of the coin, I suppose. So, first of all, this season, okay, let's look at last season. Last season, I think Kepa, he's been instrumental in many games, most notably around the Europa Cup, where he's been absolutely fantastic throughout that particular campaign, specifically in the semi-finals. And, it was really him who's taken us to that semi-final second leg. I believe the penalty shooter was really him who's kept us in the whole game, and then eventually taking us over in the penalty shootout. So, and there were other games as well throughout last season in the Premier League where he's made some really crucial saves, kept us in the game. So overall, last season, I think it was great. But there were some inkling here and there, I believe, last season where long shots got to him. I still remember the goal that was scored by Sturridge. Anything that was sort of hit from far, could had the potential to catch him out. And there was just a little bit of ifs and buts here and there in regards to how he was, his ball playing ability. As good as it is, there were some sort of chinks in the armor, I suppose, that you could say. So this season, however, I think many of the Premier League clubs have really worked out his weakness and have honed in on it. So one of the big weaknesses that we've seen this season is, his inability to command the box, pretty much. So when it comes to set pieces, whether it's free kicks, corners, he's not confident enough to come out of his box, leap up and clean everyone up and just grab that ball or punch with confidence. He simply does not have that vibe about him. He simply does not have that game in him to come, really impose himself in that box. And, he's quite timid in that situation. Like, he's half-hearted. In recent times, he's tried to sort of better that. But even then, he's sort of half-hearted about the whole situation. It doesn't look convincing at all. So what's the opposition doing is peppering him whenever, they're trying to get more corners, they're trying to get more free kicks, and they're going direct so that they're putting more pressure and they're putting the deliveries much closer to him in that sort of, that particular position of, I suppose, uncertainty just between the defender and the keeper. And they're trying to put more balls over there because he's not going to command it. Now, you can turn around and say, well, what about the defenders? And I'll get to that because I think, defenders have an issue as well. But Kepa, had he been a little bit more confident and pretty much said to his defenders, look, don't worry about it. I'm going to come out and clean everyone up and I'm going to grab that. But he simply can't do that. He's not tall enough. I suppose that's probably the other factor that he feels worried about. And secondly, his shot stopping this season. A lot of the teams who have seen last season that he might have a bit of chink in long range shooting when it comes to stopping them, they've started to take more long shots. It's not a coincidence that this season we've seen him cop so many, glamorous goals, I suppose you can say, from long range. And recently Zaha, that was honestly coming straight to him. Yes, it had a little bit of swerve, but a top keeper, I feel, should be able to save that. And once again, it just misses him. Whether he's tall enough or not, that's another issue. But these are the issues that we've started to see in him this season a lot more, and teams have started to, work on them a lot more. And it's come to a situation where we can't have this. Chelsea's goalkeeper cannot be a liability for us. And it's got to be, we have to have a strong keeper. We're a top club. We cannot harbour this sort of keeper for too long because they will cost us points. And if we want to mount a challenge for the title in the coming years, we have to have keepers like Petr Cech, Thibaut Courtois, who are great shot stoppers, commanding in the box, didn't give 2 cents about who was near them, cleaned everyone up. So now I want to talk about the two sides, the fans that like him, fans that want to get rid of him. The fans that like him, I was one of them, to be honest. I still want to, I hope that he gets better, but I can't see that happening. Now, the fans that really, really want to back him, they're really just playing on hope. There's no indication at all in terms of, technical abilities improving. As I said, shot stopping, long range shot stopping, his ability to command the box in set pieces, whether it's free kicks, corners, there's no improvement in that. So when I consider that and I say, well, okay, how can I back someone just on the basis of hope that one day, that he's going to come around? It's not going to happen. He needs to show some distinct improvements in those departments, which he's not. And now it's also creeping into his ball playing ability, where he's constantly, every match, where he's making some dicey passes. So, the people that like him, honestly, just like him, one, because he was too expensive, so they can't contemplate, well, how do we get rid of an expensive player like that? So money is playing a bit of a part in their mindset. Being a Chelsea player, you traditionally want to back them, but it's more sort of now, I suppose, patriotism more than anything, to be honest. It's because it's Chelsea player, you want to back him. But, you need to see the flaws as well. And lastly, it's really hope. You're just hoping that they're going to get better. But honestly, there's been no technical improvement at all. So the people that don't want to back him, they've seen it. They've seen the light and they're over it. Stats will say that he's the worst shot stopper. He's got the worst saving percentage across, like, God knows how many keepers around Europe. And, they've got to a point where they just want to get rid of him. So that's a bit about that. Now, in terms of the links, we've been heavily linked with Onana. I mean, is definitely an improvement, based on his Champions League performances. But then again, he's not my top priority. Henderson from Sheffield United, for me, that's the number one priority. I've seen a few matches of Henderson and he looks like a solid shot stopper. It's not like he can't play from the back either. He definitely can. And, he's commanding in the box. So for me, that's number one. And then recently, we've started to talk about the Turkish keeper. I believe his name is Sekir, or Sekir, whatever, however you pronounce it. Sorry if I've mispronounced. So he's apparently a great shot stopper as well. And just recently, in the last 24 hours, Jan Oblak from Atletico Madrid has been the latest. For me, obviously, he's going to be the top-notch, selection. But the only reason I'm not upbeat about it is because I feel that this is very unrealistic. Simeone has come out and said, as like how Barcelona has Messi, Atletico Madrid has, Oblak. That's the level that they keep Oblak at. It's an absolute shot stopper, commanding in his box. So, I don't know how that's going to happen, but if it does, I'm not going to complain. I'll take that. But for me, Henderson is the number one priority. So that's a little bit about Kepa. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. How you feel about Kepa. Are you confident? Do you want him to go? Do you want him to stay? Who would you replace with? Let me know. Now, let's talk about the defense, as we were saying. Defensively, I think straight away, Frank, this is something that he's not shown any improvement throughout this season, and I'm concerned about that. He's shown improvement across many other areas, but this is one that I feel is a big question mark still that he needs to work on next season. He needs to get, I believe, with all the new players that we're going to get, he has to get also a defensive coach to help him out, because I feel like he lacks that experience in that department. Now, in regards to the centre backs, the full backs, look, Zuma is the only centre back that I can say that is good enough at the moment. The other three, with Christensen, Rudiger, and Tomori, we haven't even seen much of him lately, and I feel like he's been a bit out of favour as well with Frank. So we definitely need some upgrade over there. I don't know who's available, to be honest. Declan Rice apparently is the name that's been thrown around, but I personally haven't seen him play centre back. I've seen him more play in defensive midfield, and it makes sense to get him in defensive midfield. But apparently he can chip in. He's versatile, and Frank likes versatility. Gabriel Magalhaes has been, touted a long time ago, and there's been some really big shouts from Chelsea community, the fans out there. They really appreciate the way Magalhaes plays, and he's a strong defender. So maybe that's an opportunity. Koulibaly and all the other ones, honestly, they're not happening. Those are the big stars that just, I don't think those opportunities are available at the moment. So, but centre back is definitely something that we need to strengthen along with the goalkeeper. And lastly, the left back situation. We pretty much don't have a left back, to be honest. Azpilicueta has just been filling in, but at the end of the day, he doesn't cut it in the long run. So we need a left back. Emerson's leaving to Inter Milan most likely. The words are that it's getting, closer and closer. Alonso, since the restart, honestly, he doesn't even look interested one bit. He looks great when he goes up, throughout this season. We've seen it in previous seasons as well. When he goes forward, he looks fine. When he's defending, he's a no-show. So that's a little bit about the defense. It's not all about Kepa. Kepa is definitely an issue, but the defense needs some fixing as well. Now, lastly, I want to talk about our game tomorrow. First of all, thank you to Bournemouth and Southampton for saving us. After our blunder against, Sheffield United, it's so great to see that, Man United's dropped points, which is, they were flying. So that was a massive surprise for me that Southampton got a last-minute equaliser on them. Great news for us. And Bournemouth, obviously, banging for after being 1-0 down against Leicester. Leicester's on a massive downward spiral, which is great for us. So now it comes to the situation of us playing Norwich. Honestly, nothing more than 3 points here. No excuses anymore. Let's not forget the Sheffield match. Obviously, we need to work on all the issues that we had in that match, but we can't dwell on it too long because we need to play against Norwich and really need to beat them. Honestly, we need to beat them. I don't care how we beat them, just beat them, get the 3 points, and we're going to get that much closer to the top 4. Because Leicester's got, I believe Leicester's got a very hard team. I've forgotten exactly who they've got, but they've got a difficult fixture coming up. Sheffield, that's it, Sheffield. Leicester's got Sheffield, and if Sheffield plays the way they've played us, honestly, I can't see Leicester taking points from them. At best, maybe a draw. So, this is our opportunity to really stretch the lead. Man United's got Crystal Palace away from home. I think Man United's going to get that, even though they've had a blip against Southampton, but they're on fire. Crystal Palace is someone, you never know, I guess, with football, especially in the Premier League, you never know. But if we get the 3 points here, sets us up nicely for, Wolves and Liverpool to come up. And, massive chance. I mean, Norwich, they've just been relegated. We need to get the 3 points here. So let me know what your thoughts are, guys. How you feel about the match that's coming up against Norwich. What's the lineup that you would use? What are you expecting from that match? And comment below. And if you've enjoyed the, video here, smash the like button, guys. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. As I said, getting really close to 1,000 subscribers. Help me get there just before the season ends. And if you're here, on a regular basis, hit the bell notification to be in touch with all my content. So until next time, see ya.